I'm Ann Anderson, and today I'm going to show you how I do my silk painting process. First of all, I start out with a drawing, somewhat like this, and I transfer that drawing and enlarge it to a piece of white butcher paper, and I do the drawing with a big Sharpie so that the lines are nice and thick and black. Then I take my bolt of silk and I cut off a piece of silk to put over the drawing. The silk is 30 Mummy Silk Charmeuse, which is a very thick, heavy, luxurious silk. Okay, now I'm going to start waxing the design onto the silk. I'm dipping my brush into very hot melted beeswax. The temperature is something close to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's in a little tiny electric frying pan here. The wax needs to be very hot in order to penetrate through this thick silk. And now I'm basically tracing the drawing, which I can see through the silk, onto the silk with the melted beeswax. Now I've waxed the design onto the front side of the silk, and I'm going to peel it off of the drawing, get rid of that, and turn it over and look at the back side. On the back side of the silk, there are all kinds of little spots where the wax didn't penetrate through the silk. You need to plug those up, sort of like putting your finger in a dam, because the dyes will bleed through those little open areas. So wherever I see a little spot where the wax didn't penetrate through, I go over it with fresh hot wax so that there isn't a gap in the wax. Okay, I have tacked my piece of silk to my two sawhorses with your basic push pins, and I tack it as tightly as I can so that it is taut as it can be. And now it's ready to start painting. I have my color palette of dyes here. So right now I'm using Jacquard silk dyes that I ordered from Dharma Trading, that I have mixed previously today and tested on little samples. I have little samples of white silk that I paint and make sure that the color turns out exactly the way I want it to. Then I know what color I'm painting with. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to blend the dyes. This petal has a bit of dark red to the edge of it, and I want it to blend nicely into a dark yellow. So I'm going to add the yellow right to the red. So now this petal is going to become a deeper yellow. And I keep touching the red, and it pulls the red right into the yellow nicely. Now the yellow is going to become a bit lighter over here. And I'm going to add a bit of water to help blend this together. Now I'm going to add a little bit more yellow into this area, a little bit of water, and the colors blend together beautifully. finished painting, and now I'm gonna steam it. It's nice and dry, and it's time to steam it because in order to get the colors to be permanent, I need to steam it for 2 hours. So I'm going to pack it in newsprint before I put it in my steaming kettle. Then the dyes are completely permanent. You can do anything with them, wash them, take them out in the rain, whatever you want to do. Okay, I have my wire tube here. It's basically chicken wire, some sort of chicken wire. So I just roll all the newspapers carefully onto this tube. So now, right now I have 5 paintings packed away in newsprint carefully. Not one part of the painting is touching another part of the painting. There's layers of newsprint in between all of them. And they're rolled on this, this wire tube, and I'm going to put them in the steaming kettle next. So during the 2 hours that these silk paintings are in the steaming kettle, the steam will just fill up inside here, and a chemical reaction will take place with the dye to make them permanent. But it does take about 2 hours of steam. No condensation will drip onto the paintings because there's a towel here and lots of layers of newsprint, so the condensation just kind of soaks into this layer up here and not dripping onto the paintings, which would be very bad, making watermarks that you can't get rid of. And then after the 2 hours is finished, I take them out and I put them in a great big vat of hot soapy water to get the excess dye out of the silk. And I wash and rinse them about 10 times. And after that, once they're dry, I take them to the dry cleaners to get the wax out. My silk painting is almost finished. I brought it back from the dry cleaners and sewed a border on the edge, cotton border, and I built a frame too. So the frame is really nice lumber, and I staple the painting onto the lumber frame through the cotton so that it doesn't do any damage to the silk. I back the frame with fiberfill, and in between the fiberfill and the silk is a layer of fiberfill batting that gives it a cushy effect. So now I will start painting over the white lines. The reason why I'm painting over the white lines is because as the painting is now with the white lines, it has a bit of a flat look to it. I discovered after about doing this for about 12 or 15 years that once you paint over the white lines, the depth pretty much triples, and you have a very three-dimensional looking painting. So I take the colors that I've mixed and I match them as close as I can to the color on the silk so that the lines basically disappear. So this is my silk painting technique. I hope you've enjoyed watching. And if you have any more questions or want to contact me or look at photos of other paintings, it's all on my website, AnneAnderson.com. ANNEANDERSON.com. Thanks for watching.